Yo, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, yo. Good morning. Time is it? 7:30? Oh my god. It's too early. It's too early. Too early for me. Too early. Morning, morning, yo-yo. Do you think the Votann will get along with Perturabo? Does anyone get along with that guy? I don't really know my Primarch lore, man. I'm not really a Primarch guy or a Space Marine guy. I couldn't tell you. But I heard he's not, like, the most enjoyable person. Not a good, enjoyable person. Where's the brush? Shit. Where's the brush? There it is. Kindness, hello, sir. The robo legs. The footless man. Got them feet, the robo feet. Meow, hello, buddy. I haven't put models together in a while. You should give it a shot. You may have the itch in more places than one, but that would be a bad thing. The itch! Oh, God! A bad thing. The addiction starts. That would be something. A faction start would be something. Burrito, hello, sir. Yeah, I don't blame you. It's hobby burnout is real. Hobby fatigue, hobby... It's like with anything, man. You sometimes have to work up to it. It sucks, but it's reality. It's life. Everyone's got something that they feel like they'd rather be doing and stressing over the hobby. I think maybe even working on a new system of painting could help. New workflow ideas, right? That could be a good thing. There's a lot of ways to do the hobby, but it's always a matter of efficiency, I find. The less efficient something is, the less you want to do it. Just seems like a headache. Well, that would be a very good way to do it. Airbrushes are great, but it's more of like broader base coats and priming. Depending on what army you do, you can definitely get away with airbrushing. Bloodborne, I've seen a bit of that board game. It's, well, we've also played the game, so I know what you're talking about. There's a lot of different monsters. You know, one of the easiest things, though, is that you just kind of take inspiration from the game. Just look at, like, images of those monsters and characters from the game, and then you're just kind of like, well, that's easy-ish. And that's just a board game. It's not really like a... It's not like a war game or anything, you know? You're not trotting around your army and, like, doing much with it. It's more of like a low-key project. It's pretty cool. I tried to show Ivana those at one point because she wanted to paint something different, and Bloodborne is like up her alley because she likes the FromSoft games. Those are a... I don't... Do they even produce that game anymore still? Like, I thought the Bloodborne game was kind of like done for a while. Maybe I'm wrong. It's certainly a bit of a niche. Like, there's no way everyone's getting into Bloodborne. Also because it's not, like, a widely popular, like, multi-console game. Very popular for those who have, like, a PlayStation. Otherwise, you're just kind of, like, in the dark a little bit. Vampire Kingdom Classics. I don't even know what that is. I don't think she does. No. Mad Bro, hello, sir. I've got no idea what that is. There's a million expansions, yeah. I've seen so many of them. It's pretty crazy. I feel like it was a Kickstarter thing, no? Was it? For something that niche, it's got to be a Kickstarter. It's just one of those things where it's like, if you had a PC release, oh my god, you'd probably make so much money. But it still is kind of not, again, widely popular. Well, it might. You never know. It is worthy of like a remaster with like, you know, 60 FPS without mods and shit, but yeah, we'll see about that one. We'll see how that goes. Like, that is tremendously you know, wanted for so long. Don't even give me a remaster of DS2. Well, technically DS2 already had a remaster, but don't give me anything else, just give me Bloodborne. And I guess so, because Bloodborne's like the weird outlier, non-60 FPS, non-PC port, like, game. How long have you been modeling, and what is your biggest model? I've been doing this shit for probably 20-ish years. Like 20 plus years-ish. My biggest model back in the day was probably the Stompa. It was Stompa or Baneblade. Nothing in Fantasy came close, and Fantasy was my jam. Like, the longest beyond 40k. The good old Stompa. That was crazy when it came out. I always wanted the Gargantuan Squiggoth, but yeah, that never came to be. Little old me had no money for that. That would have been cool. Demon's Souls remake studio did Bloodborne as well. Demon's Souls was good. The remake of that game was really good. Dead, hello, sir. I really enjoyed Demon's Souls, actually. It's a little bit more like, well, it's their first, like, weird Soulsy game, so it was very... You could feel the evolution, right? It felt very bare bones compared to everything else, because it's like, this is where we started. It was good. I liked it a lot. I can't even fathom how I beat those games, I'm not gonna lie. Thinking back to, like, the mental strength I had during that event, like, beating all of those games subsequently was just, like, nuts. Not that it's impossible, but, you know. Like, you gotta be slow. Like, fuck Ishin. The only thing I got filtered on was Deep Lurker or Dark Lurker. It's the stupid Coven boss where you have to spend money or like a resource to get in and fight him. It's so fucking stupid. That was one of the stupidest things ever. I only got filtered because I didn't want to farm. I'm like, fuck this, what a waste of time. And we had him beat, and I died with, like, him having 1 HP, but, yeah. If you've got a boss that takes resources and they force you to farm, I'm not really going to do it, probably. It's a jank system. Well, you gotta break out of the cycle, bro. That's what it is. It's a cycle of misery. You have to find something to break out of the cycle. The sadness, the blues. I'm not really a big anime guy, but Sekiro was cool. Yeah, I may watch that. I'm assuming it'll be faithful to, like, the game and the lore, so maybe. Yeah, they're even doing a Death Stranding anime. Did you know that? It's fucking weird. Uh, well, I guess that's subjective. I would put the experience of Death Stranding in my top 10, maybe, as like an overall feeling. It's really cool. It deserves recognition, even if you don't like the concept. The concept is what makes it cool. Or I shouldn't say the concept. I should say the gameplay. That was the biggest kicker for like a lot of people. The gameplay was very weird. But like I didn't find it weird. It's just not for everyone. You're basically working a job in the apocalypse, and that's exactly what it is. It's a job. Mochi's with Mama. He's not here right now. DS2 is good. Yeah, well, we beat Death Stranding 2, right? So I won't say anything, but very good game. It's the first game, but I feel like I like the first game more, but there's a bit more action in 2. That's the difference. It's like you're the same guy working the same job. There's a bit more heart behind it in terms of what you've got. Um, but yeah. Uh, no, that's not true. I wouldn't say that. I would not say that at all. There's no such thing as, like, open world Death Stranding. It just doesn't really... There's no... There's, like, no points of interest like that. It's not like the more you explore, the more you see. It's more of, like, a linear... The pathing is kind of linear, but once you get to a zone, you can kind of do a few things, but it's a lot of... I wouldn't say free roaming. Oh, you're talking... Okay, no, never mind, my bad. That's different. I've never played that game. Yeah, you're good. I was like, Death Stranding is like Skyrim. What? Hell no. Funky. Well, I've seen a little bit of Skyrim, and I'm assuming Skyrim is kind of like Fallout, where it's just a big open world where you're able to just walk around. Like, I've seen the style of overworld, I guess you could say, but I've never played the game. It's going to be on the list. Zealand Ardor. Maybe. They're pretty good. I'm Rio, buddy. I haven't seen New Zealand Ardor music in so long. I'd like to see a new album, but who knows? Ryan's in, yep. Standing desk is good. Yeah. Standing desks are, I should be getting one, but in all honesty, they're kind of, they can be expensive, and the amount of work to pull them apart and put them back together and not break anything kind of like is getting to my brain. I don't know if I want to do that. Like, these shitty little IKEA desks that I have are fine, they work, but, like, they're not good. How much did you pay for yours? Because the ones I've seen are pretty expensive from, like, IKEA, or they're from, like, fucking, like, a computer store. $150? Well, that's like, what, $300? Do I have another one of these? Yeah, how much, that's like what? Your pounds, right? Your pounds, and that should be $300? Is that USD or Canadian, though? Good. One sec. $300 plus tax. I think that's kind of expensive for a table. Like, genuinely. For a table? I guess if you're using it 24/7, it's like what it is, you know? The fact that it's a standing and sit one, though, I guess that's kind of the justification, but... Exactly. The one I'm using now was less than, like, it's probably $50. But, you know, if you're doing it a lot, it's 100% probably worth it, to be honest. Any new albums I should check out? Honestly, I mean, there's the Angus McSix album that came out recently. Warden Ogan's last album is good. Windrose's last album is good. I mean, Midnight has a few albums. Yeah, there's a few good ones out there that have come out the last, like, little while. I think even, like, Trollfest had one. Oh. Off the top of my head, I think that's, like, what I would say. Santiano had one. If you can find one like that, that's great, yeah. Alex Loser. Yeah, the, what was I gonna say? The amount of content in the last few years has been pretty cool. Yeah, well, we're gonna be doing more of it today. Again, I might start the event. We're kind of already at the 20th-ish, so... Well, 9 days away, but we'll see. Anywhere from, like, the end of this month to the next month, ideally, is maybe where I'd like to be. Maybe a new little variety event, yeah, just to be on 24/7 playing variety. Get the wheel out. Eat the nasty shit food. Get poisoned. Die on stream. Well, we're not playing The Witcher until we're done, everything else. Well, not everything else, sorry. Dead Island. Not Dead Island. What the fuck is the game? Dying Light. If it was suggested during the event, yeah. The only outlier that I kind of added was the new Resident Evil as like a one-off. And it was good. I liked it. It's a big franchise, yeah. Well, we gotta play all the Dying Lights. That's the idea. Yeah, well, we're playing the first one right now. I'm not sure how the other ones play out. Probably the same, but like with a different narrative. But it's good so far. I do like it. There's a lot of good games out there, but they're long and arduous. But if you can kind of like make time for it, I'm sure they're great. Like the overall enjoyment, the time spent. Most people gave up on Red Dead because it was so long and it was so slow, but it's like one of the greatest games ever made. Same thing with Subnautica. Well, I think Red Dead 2 is kind of long if you're doing all the side quests and everything. I guess there's a lot of games with side quests and things, but Red Dead is a game that you don't rush. That's the idea. It's more of a lived-in, slow type of burn. Great game, though. Well, there's nothing in 2XKO I care about. There's no characters. I was playing Blitzcrank because he was Geef, and I don't even care about Blitz, so... Yeah, the characters in that game right now just aren't cool enough, in my opinion. Like, Alawi's fine, Brahm's fine, but they're not my favorite characters, that's why. There is the VOD of Red Dead 2. There's the complete saved VOD. I think it was on, the second VOD channel. Exasperte's channel. Subnautica was saved. Red Dead was saved. There was a bunch of good save games. This is just one fucking song, but I'm so, like, cooked out of my mind that I thought it was an album. Okay. Literally one song. I thought you were a League streamer. You're supposed to, when you mentioned Blitz. True. That is true. It's the Casual VOD Watcher. Yeah, yeah, it's on that channel. He recorded a lot of games that we missed, and I'm, like, ever grateful, because that's insane. It was just a hobby of his to kind of upload them, so that's really cool of him. He got all the good ones. All the ones I love the most are there. A dedicated audience. I've got a bunch of freaks who follow me. Freaks! Yeah, true. I mean, to be honest, though, when you're doing something like this, you don't even realize you're listening to the same song for 3 hours. You really don't. You don't think about it. Yeah, that was a first for me in a long time, because the only time I've ever done that was for ad reads. The only time I've sat down and rambled outside of a stream was probably for ads. Yeah. I don't know. It was very off the cuff. Like, I wasn't really, there was no script, there was nothing, there was no, like, written portion of anything. I kind of just turned the camera on and recorded something for the YouTube channel. So in the future, I may do something a little bit more refined, but yeah. Well, we'll see. I don't really care if it doesn't get more traction. It's more of like a for fun hobby thing, but it'd be cool if it did. We'll see. Yeah, peace, bro. Good luck. Good luck with the workout, sir. Too many. Far too many to count. I'm Canadian. I'm from Toronto. I'm from Toronto. I don't think I even have an accent. Do I have an accent? I don't think I do. Do I? If I was from, like, Quebec, maybe. But it's Toronto. Okay, the same song is playing again. Shut up. Good song, but Jesus Christ. Time to listen to the same album we've heard for the last 3 years. Well, most Americans are... Well, most Canadians are probably viewed as Americans online. It's like how I view most Europeans as, like, the same thing. Like, I can't fathom what it is overseas, so I'm just like, you're from Europe? All right. You're, like, German or something. I don't know. I don't know any of it. Like, I can't distinguish, like, the different, like, countries and things in terms of, that's the most insulting thing. For European people, yes. I know. But I don't know the different countries. I don't know the different accents. Like, if you go to EU West, I'm like, everyone's just European, and everyone's probably just gonna flame you the same way. I don't know. Slavic person. That I couldn't even tell you, bro. I could not tell you. I have, like, a very generalized view of things from, like, the online perspective, because I've never been to these countries. If you've gone to each country, or, like, for the sake of Canada, different provinces, you know, you go to Quebec, you're gonna hear more of an accent. Toronto's a mix of things. Well, I guess even Quebec's kind of a mix of things. Montreal's, like, huge with people, but unless you've been there, you can't fathom it. It's like most European people looking at, like, America and then Canada and being like, well, what's the difference? You know, you're all just, like, gun-toting fat people who eat burgers and have diabetes. It's like, well, yeah, but what's the problem? I'm very uncultured on the world, unfortunately. It's cool to hear about it, though. Different countries and things going on, and, you know, the people who are there, because it is very different. Yeah, I was gonna say, not the exact same people with wacky accents. Yeah, exactly. But it's such a generalized thing from, like, the perspective of being online. I've never seen the world at large. I've never traveled overseas. I've never seen documentaries on, like, this people and this people. I've seen the Swedish. The Swedish are fucked up. I don't know if you've seen Midsummer. I ain't going to Sweden. If those are the Swedish people. I don't want my ankles broken and to be turned into fertilizer. As Ivana and Mochi are, like, roasted alive. I ain't going. Yes. That's the Swedish experience. Nani. Yeah, the surströmming is, like, really nasty. I think there's a exotic food place in Toronto that before I do the event, or not exotic, but, like, import foods, I may go down there and try, purchasing a few things. I can make the wheel a little bit more interesting. I'm sure people, well, everything mostly in life is an acquired taste unless it's, like, enjoyable at first. Lamprey pie. It's like, yeah, what are you eating, bro? Eldritch horror diet. Bro's eating an old one. Leave it to the British to eat literal eldritch horrors. Well, I don't think I'd be eating surströmming anytime soon, but yeah. Albania has 50-50 dickheads. I feel like that's everywhere in the world, though. Like, literally every culture, everywhere, you've got people who are going to be dicks, regardless. Everyone's idea of Canadians being the most wholesome people who are always apologizing. Yeah, I don't know about that. It's always snowing up here. We're being eaten by wildlife and we, like, lodge with beavers. One sec. South Park made us seem decent. We were bastards, were we? It was such a weird depiction of Canadians. I'm like, this isn't really us. I guess that's the point of South Park. That is just South Park. Total Warhammer 3 break. I don't think I'm playing that game for a bit, bro. When I get back to doing fantasy, I will absolutely play it. But, like, I'm too... Unironically, I've been liking 40k a little bit more just because I've been staring at the fucking squats for so long. Like, literally, that's the only thing I've been staring at and obsessing over for, like, 2 months. I'm still collecting fantasy stuff. Like, I'm still loving fantasy, but, like, I don't... 40k will never be my favorite thing, period. It won't. Fantasy is my goat. But, like, I guess it's just because I haven't done 40k in so long that, like, it's a little bit more intriguing. As of right now, at least. Well, I just said 40... 40k is fine, but, like, I don't know. I prefer fantasy. I'll always prefer fantasy. Fuck 40k! You fucking chuds. That's what you say. Fucking chuds. Space Marine chuds. Whatever the Twitter folk call it. Whatever the Twitter and Reddit folk are talking about with their slang. Chud maxers. I don't know. Whatever they say. 28, 29, 30. Good Christ. 28, 29, 30. That's not it. Fuck. What was it? 28, 29, 30. 28? The best thing about 40K is you can always get a game of 40K. That's my favorite thing right now about 40K. If I wanted to play Warhammer anywhere, at any location, I would literally just play 40K. 30. If you're in a bigger, wider, like, wargaming community, and you're able to kind of play whatever game, that'd be great, but, like, Old World's not really a thing here. Cycle through the different settings and helps avoid making it dull. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, technically the Votann lore-wise are very dwarf-coded, so, like, I don't mind it, but I'm not, like, super in love, you know? It's just being able to appreciate the differences, I guess, in kind of settings and depictions. That's the idea. That's terrible. I hope it was to me, though. But that's terrible. I'm so sorry. You should enable... Yeah, I was gonna say, you should enable, you should be enabling all that stuff, dude. Like, verification, everything. All of it. And then also, like, call your bank and, like, you know, tell them about what purchases have been made that weren't from you. Like, immediately. Sorry, did I get are my alerts broken? Did I thank Skalaner? Skalaner, thank you, bro. I didn't even see your sub. Thank you, sir. I think my alerts are broken. Sorry, man. Oh, my alerts are broken. Did I thank you? I think so. I might have. Thank you, dude. Okay, I can enable 7TV. You want 7TV? Okay, I'm in. How do I add you as an editor? Click profile. Settings. Oh, here we go. How do I add you? Excuse me. I have an editor thing, but what do I do? Rainsden? I got you. Okay, I put you in. It says you're pending, so you have to go accept it, I think. Oops. Make him play Total War 2 or 3. I just don't want to, man. I don't know. I love fantasy. Like I said, don't get it twisted. I love fantasy to death. I just don't want to do it. Not right now. I feel like I'd be back into fantasy doing a project that would literally land me 0 games. I miss rolling dice. Like, I literally miss playing this game. Not to say that I'm just going to rush everything and be like, all right, put minis on a table, but, you know, for me, everything is kind of the hobby. Every aspect of Warhammer is the hobby, and I'm missing, like, a big chunk of it. Like, I've never been the one to... Well, back in the day, technically, I would build armies and build units just to play. That was my shit. But, like, these days, it's more of, like, a well-rounded, you know, one feeds into another, feeds into another. Well, that is true. We did. Yeah. And I won. 100% win rate. Fantasy is the most comfortable thing for me. The issue is I don't have games. There's no way to get games. I'm sad. What can I do? Crack. Don't do crack. You should do Warhammer, bro. I know you do Warhammer. Tove, hello, sir. Do some Warhammer. Open a window, get some fresh air. Put on some music, do some hammer. Okay, I'll try to paint an orc today. You're good, bro. I mean, hopefully you feel better. I would say, I don't know, man. You gotta mix it up, I find. Stagnation's a little bit boring at times, you know? Crack some booty. That's the microphone. That would look weird. If that was a braid, that'd look, like, horrifically weird. Oh man, I'm so tired. Me am so tired. You know, these minis aren't even that bad with mold lines. I think it's more of the assembly that's CBT. The mold lines are actually, like, pretty chill. They're not so bad. It's like, whoever tooled this up, it's not terrible. Good, you should. Never get to stretch before you become a shrimp. I'm like an obese, ill shrimp who's also Canadian. Well, the thing is, well, yeah, the standing desk is great. If you can get one and you got space and you're not going anywhere anytime soon, absolutely. I've got my elbows resting on armrests. Chair armrests. Yeah, exactly. That'd be better. Exactamundo. This I feel like the standing function is things people don't use enough of, probably when they have something like that. I feel like that's the one thing that you kind of get it for, but like standing is just shit at times. It's a good reset, but like maybe I'm wrong. Well, going outside requires movement. Standing up is easier, which is also movement, but it's a lot less movement. But you're not wrong. A walking pad underneath your desk. I've considered weird shit like that. I just don't think I've come to terms with it. I don't know if I could do it. The number one issue I have right now in this place is that there's no room. And I don't know if I'll have even more room in the future, but I don't have room right now. It's a mix of like finding your groove, I think, with like how you maneuver and do things. It's like allocate X amount of time for this, and this, and then you need to do something physical. You need that healthy bodily routine. I don't know. I do the mental gymnastics, but no physical gymnastics. But I do like get out and go for walks and things. You know, I live a little physically. Maybe not as much as I should, but yeah. There you go, sir. Still wish this guy would put out a new album. Shit has been so long. Literally, what, 2-3 years, I think? But beggars can't be choosers. It is what it is. How many more bodies do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 3 more. 3 more, brother. Well, Zeal's songs are always good. I don't think this guy usually misses with songs. Even, you know what? Fuck. What about Devin Townsend? Did he put out a new single? And when is that album supposed to be out? Devin Townsend. Nope, he didn't put out a new single. Ay. When's this coming out? May 29th. Oh my god, 47 days! You're shitting me. Do. Ba-ba-ba-boom. Is this to go? Fuck, it's so early. It's only 9 o'clock. I think I've been up here since, what, 6? 6 or 7 or 8? Like, fuck. Hour and a half? Yeah. Still very early, and I think it's the weekend. 6, 7. Okay, not 6, 7, but... It is still early. Early weekend enjoyment. His leg. Oh. Like a glove. Well, there you go. Everything does fit pretty cleanly. Alrighty, next body. Good to go for now. Fresh eyes will finish it. What's the next bout of brain damage? 38, 39, 40. He's got the robo feet. Oh my god, it gets worse. Robo feet. 38, 39, 40. Uh, 38, 39, 40. Where the fuck is it? $38, 39, 40. Where did it go? Which sprue is it? Here we go. 38, 39, 40. The squats? I have to reevaluate some of my sculpts. So those aren't happening right now. I'm actually waiting for something in the mail before I do them again, but I'm just working on, like, the typical Votann. The stuff that they're meant to be in-game. So I'm actually waiting for a kit before I get back to them. A slight inconvenience is what it is. Yeah. Well, they weren't up to my standard, which was the issue. I ended up doing a few test paints of my sculpts, and I'm like, these don't really replicate what I want. The fidelity is good, but the design is not good. So I had to kind of, like, scrap a few of them. So I'm just waiting for something in the mail before I get back to it. Should be here next week sometime. To what? Add pockets to what, exactly? These guys? You just gave me an idea, actually. You just reminded me of a weird idea. Well, kind of. Technically, the old squats actually had pockets on their sleeves, and they also had pockets on their boots. Which is such a weird fucking thing, but, like, that's just very evocative of, like, the times for those guys. That's a weird concept. It's either making the squats more like the Votann, or making the Votann more like the squats. I'll look into that. I'd like to see how pockets would look around their ankles, unironically. Yeah. Well, for these guys, I don't think it'd be a problem. They're a bit of a weird amalgamation of science and stunted man. Do you not even get, like, pouches with the Hearthkin warriors? Oh, you do? Okay. What a weird idea that would be, actually. Like, why would you ever want that? You know what I mean? But, like, it's so strange. Why would you ever want that? Shit. I could see it working, but it'd look a little bit jank. It'd be a little bit jank. Yeah. Interesting. Excuse me. Christ. Yeah, yeah, you could do it. It's just a matter of, like, how would it look? Because the issue is these guys have, big beefy shoulder pads, but there's no reason you can't do it. And kind of put them on those. I will look into that when I get the arms going, actually, because that could be a pretty interesting thing. He's like, what? What are you saying? I mean, some people just like the champ. You don't need to be, like, ingrained in some sort of, like, culture to enjoy something like that, but Some people just like playing characters. That's a character I haven't played in so long. I haven't even looked at Gangplank in ages. I'm just like, Tank Graves. Tank TF. I'm cooking. Yeah. That's fine. Well, everyone's in it for something different, right? Like, not everyone's going to want to play because of lore or character or anything like that. Some people like the mechanics of a character more than the character itself. Yeah. It's like the whole Warhammer thing. It's like, do you like the lore or do you like the look of them? Or maybe both. For me, a lot of it is both when it comes to most things in life. It's like I have to care about the character or whatever it is, and then also have to like how they play. Like, I like Ornn, I like Scion thematically, but they're just kind of boring to play at times. That's why I don't play them anymore. It just depends on what you enjoy. Bro is still hobbying. I am. We put out the new YouTube video, and there's fantasy in it. At the very end of the video, there's fantasy. Fantasy made an appearance, the goat. I miss fantasy. I keep seeing so much fantasy shit, and I'm just like, I don't want to look at it right now. Uncorrupt me. I'm just... Listen. It's either this or it's Age of Sigmar for now. I want to work on my fucking Lord of the Rings stuff as well, but like... Well, actually, the things I'm going to be juggling are like very playable, small Combat Patrol fucking Spearhead nonsense, and then I'll do Ryan's projects in between. That's kind of the idea. I'd take AOS over 40k. You don't like the Votann? You don't like the stunted, mutated, lumpy-headed freaks? I was actually looking through, I was looking through the Votann book, and this was art from, like, the first codex that had come out, and it's like, all the kin are kin, and it's like the most disgusting-looking freaks. You've got, well, okay, I'm not gonna say Ben Burr's a disgusting freak, but you've got, like, Ben Burr the squat, you've got, like, a dickhead, you've got some chick with, like, a Cenobite-looking-ass forehead, and then you've got, like, a dude who's got teeth growing out of the side of his cheeks. It's like, yeah, I get it, it makes sense. You know, clone schemes and being suited for, like, the job that you're born for, but they're really gross. They're fucking mutants. 40k is Necromunda squats. Well, I don't know. Have you read a bit of the Votann lore? Because they've got guilds, they've got hearths, they've got brew and all this shit. They're literally... There's aspects of the Votann that are corrupt and disgusting, but a lot of the Votann are very dwarf. Like, very, very dwarf. But there are aspects that you'll be like, ew. If you're very typical, you know, I like fantasy dwarves, you're probably not going to like the Votann. You're not going to like the clone schemes. You're not going to like the Crucible idea where everyone's a vat baby who's been given like the genetics and kind of, you know, forced into a life of, I guess, always being watched and judged, you know, because once you die, your information's uploaded to the Votann, and it's like all your experiences and everything are kind of fed through the machine and like repurposed. It's a really weird, it's a 40K thing. Like literally 80% of it is fantasy, and then they've got like the 20% corrupted 40K Votann shit, which is very 40K, and you need that. But that's the stuff I'm not really a fan of. Like, I don't want dwarves following AI. I don't want dwarves being born in vats. I don't want dwarves being given a purpose at birth, and that's kind of your life. Like, the best thing about dwarves is the family. It's the honor. It's the fighting for something worthwhile. It's the artisans. It's the craftsmen. It's like a very homey, kind of like tight-knit community of a lot of heart. That's to me what the dwarves are. And the Votann have that, but they also have like very heavy 40K flavored stuff to make them more in tune with the universe. Yeah, well, they're not well, no, even the Necromunda squats aren't dwarves. There's no dwarves in 40K. There's no halflings in 40K. It was always about humanity kind of like taking to the stars and becoming of their environment. So like, regardless of how you look at it, it's more of the concept and how they're kind of portrayed versus like the actual makeup of them. And the Votann do a very good job at like portraying fantasy dwarven society, but not entirely. It's below stream, you'll see it. Well, they toil and live together and, you know, have little families and shit, if I'm not mistaken, but I mean, again, the Votann are very kind of the same thing. They've got guilds and all that crap to kind of further their endeavors. You know, when the dwarves of fantasy go to war, they go to war in their little clans and families, and they bring forth the different guilds to kind of like aid them. It's the same thing with the Votann. The Votann go to war with the different guilds and their kin bands and all that shit, even though they're just like ants. Make up your own lore. That's what I'm doing. When I make this little dinky Votann force, I'm not really going to be in tune with like the whole idea of the Votann. It's like these guys kind of broke out of the Votann, like the Necromunda squats did. Well, that's the biggest thing. It's about being naturally born, because if you don't have a crucible and you don't have like the guidance of the Votann, you kind of have to work on your own, which is great. Like, as I said, there's aspects of everything that kind of work well. The Votann don't do it as a flesh and blood. Like, the Necromunda squats are better for the flesh and blood, but like the Votann are more so the culture of like dwarven society. Guilds, clans, hearths. It still is very dwarf. It's just aesthetically, they're different. And you don't have to care about those aspects, because I'm not really a fan of them either. And for the sake of like the universe, they have to be there because it's 40K. Like, even though 40K was meant to be fantasy in space, you still have to have those elements that kind of make it distinct. Instead of like, oh my god, is that Thorgrim Grudgebearer in space? Start your own physical hobby Warhammer store. I can't do that. Why would that ever be? Why? Why would you want me to do that? I have a bunch of stuff that I am gonna sell eventually, but it's not gonna be like a physical store. And yeah, the whole beard thing is also a very fantasy cultural thing. Like, squats don't care about beards and lore. There's no such thing as like, or at least that I can remember. There's no honor bent on like the growth of your beard. That's a very fantasy thing. And I think for the sake of the design choices in terms of like the Votann anyways, or even like, you know, designing the Necromunda squats, it's very hard to kind of portray big beards without it making kind of a scene on the mini. Like, I've seen conversions of people having beards and things on their minis, and I'm going to put beards on mine, but like, a lot of the beards don't look like they're naturally suited for kind of what's going on. They're just kind of everywhere, in a way. Whereas these are like pressurized environmental suits. And it's like, even with, you know what they remind me of is, the fucking, God, what are they? The Caradron. It's the same thing with the Caradron. I would love to put beards on Caradron, but like, they're all kind of just suited up. They're not so much a fantasy dwarf, kind of just hanging out and like wearing your grandfather's armor with a beard the size of like your shield. Yeah. Either way, it's your hobby. You can do what you want. Hellsmiths. That'd be cool. That'd be a very fun project. The Dark Iron Dwarves. Yeah, the beauty of the hobby is you can just kind of model whatever you want and then say, like, that's canon in my own head. Like, Grok, what's the source? It's like, I made it up. Doesn't have to share anything with anyone. You just kind of do it because you want to, and there's no meaning outside of that, but that's a lot of my justification for doing Votann, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I could ever enjoy the Votann lore as it is. I don't place value on, like, the Votann as individuals. They're just clones, and it's hard to love. But it's very 40k. I'm subjectively against it, but objectively, it's a pretty cool take. Source of this lore, Grok. I made it up. That's interesting. Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't even know what that is. What is that? What is that? Well, next season, yeah, demons and shit. I suspected as much. I don't know what that is, though. It's anime. Oh. I don't know what the hell that is. Anime. Ugh. Your editor is hilarious. He's good at what he does. We had a few more edits in there, but I thought it was a little bit heavy-handed because it was all from, like, League. Not like League edits, but we'll see what we want to do for future videos. I think it's a matter of, like, finding our footing with footage and edits and all this other shit. We have never done any Warhammer content on YouTube, so it was a first for both of us. Big learning experience. Marmite. So disgusting. That I don't even know, like, explaining what Marmite tastes like is like licking the grease out of an old dirty engine, but like it's dry. It's like super dry and meat flavored. Yeast, I don't know, brother. It's just it's a weird flavor. That's a flavor. Back to building orcs. Enjoy, sir. The lads. The Brexit lads. Yeah, I gotta try and at least clean up all the bodies today, and I think I'm gonna call it, which should be done maybe around noonish, so that should be good. Clean up the bodies, and then take a look at the other shit later. The stages of grief. Warhammer building. What are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 2 more. Marmite pickled chicken feet. I think that's a torture method in some countries. Because it sounds like one. If I was a serial villain, that would be it. Well, the only thing I've been doing on this channel is dwarves. I don't like anything else. We'll always be doing dwarves in some capacity. Some capacity on this channel, it'll always be a dwarf. I'm just, yeah. So you're not wrong. Technically, you're not wrong. The never-ending cycle. The day I don't work on dwarves is the day I die. Dwarf for life. Although, you get the hankering for other stuff. You definitely get the hankering for weird things. Most of which is nostalgia-based. Which is pretty cool. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. And I'm sure he was playing Warrior, and it had like a transmog with no clothes on. Yeah. You gotta get away from those guys. They're freaks. Those are the feeky dwarf fans. All the elf fans are too busy gooning. Dwarf fans are just, like, obsessively in love, but to a very non-goonish degree. Dawn of War 1 or 3? Whoa. The greatest or the worst? I would say, well, technically, well, Dawn of War 3 is the most modern of the Dawn of Wars, obviously, but that's also kind of its problem, I suppose. Dawn of War 3 is the worst. Oh, yeah, it's the worst. Well, subjectively the worst, but, like, consensus overall, people didn't really enjoy Dawn of War 3. I thought it was okay, but it's not like a classic RTS. Yeah, it's like more like a MOBA, esporty. It's a little bit more streamlined for, like, the times. There was some cool concepts in it, though. Like the truck launching boys, the wall banners. There was a lot of cool things. 1 is really good, but it is aged, I would say, because it is an older game. But, like, Dawn of War 1 is such a classic. Such a classic. Dawn of War 1 is rooted in nostalgia. It is so... It's just a great game, though, honestly. It's a classic RTS. Oh, then go for Dawn of War 1. Yeah. The voice acting in Dawn of War 1 is very hard to beat. I'd even say Total War Warhammer and Dawn of War 1 have the best voice acting in any Warhammer game ever. They're really, really flavorful. You know, I think even at one point they had a 40K MOBA, like a legitimate one. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but you could play as like a Mega Knob and all this other weird shit. It was incredibly short-lived. I mean, for God's sake, they had a 40K chess game with Regicide. It was at Dark Nexus Arena. It was something like that. Just tons of weird games. It is the most popular now, yes, it's ever been. Warhammer is the most popular it's ever been as of right now. %. Like, again, you're not pressed. No, it won't stop growing because they're going to keep pumping out content. They're literally putting a Warhammer world in the US, right? Like, there's going to be a giant Warhammer hub in the United States in the coming years. Beyond, like, the Warhammer cafes. Like, they know what they're doing, and, you know, they're going global again, right? Because, like, back in the day, they had a lot of their foothold in different countries, and they had, like, warehouses and stuff, and here in Canada, they had, like, the battle bunker and all this shit back in the day. And it was just a very interesting thing. Considering GW now, where it's, like, mostly located in UK. I mean, even in Japan, they've got, like, a big Warhammer experience coming in. So it really is everywhere. It's only going to get bigger. Well, don't you do orcs? You've never been to the Warhammer store? 3 stages of grief while building dwarves. Pretty much. That's basically my love with the Votann. There's so many stages of grief. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. I'll say this. I have a Games Workshop. I have multiple GWs, and I have a bunch of gaming stores. But the only reason to support the Games Workshop, logically, why go to a Games Workshop when I can go to a hobby store and spend 15% less and get the same product? The only reason I support the GWs that I go to are because I like the people who work there. That's the main thing. If you like the people who work there, I mean, you know, support their livelihood, right? Otherwise, I can spend 2 minutes and go up the road and get, like, something for 15% cheaper. That's, like, the most logical thing. And the guys at my GW are, like, really cool. Like, they're great people. Warhammer show should still be in production, maybe? I've never played Rogue Trader, no. That is probably the most monumental gaming task in Warhammer games, I'd say. GW and local gaming stores are not priced the same. I think the retail is 15%. Like they have a license with Games Workshop to basically sell their products, I believe, at about a 15% discount. Like a legal, like, we're going to do this type of thing, like an agreement. That's the biggest difference. And of course, local game stores have more options. Like you'll go into a Games Workshop, and I was talking to the manager and some of the guys working there, and basically at Games Workshops, they're only allowed to allocate certain things for certain shelves. Yeah, exactly. It's the agreement you sign. But if you go into a Games Workshop, you're more than likely going to find things that people are in need of, or like new releases to a degree. Things to kind of like onboard new players and be like, oh, this is what you can get if you want to jump into like 40K or Age of Sigmar or this and this. And if you go into hobby stores, like local gaming stores, you'll find a slew of things. Well, that is weird. Maybe it was not. Well, that's what? I don't know about that. That's weird. Technically, everything from a local gaming store should be cheaper outside of Forge World. I think the Forge World stuff is never a saving. Well, you should be. You should be, though. That's what the agreement is. That's weird. What the fuck? That is a very strange thing. Well, you could probably just ask anyone, to be honest. It's a very widely known thing that, like, LGSs are allowed to sell for, like, 15 to 20% cheaper. I think it's 15. That's so strange. Everything should be cheaper. Literally all of it, bro. All of it should be cheaper. All of it. Yeah. Well, that's okay. Anyways, that's my take on it. I like my GW, so I support those guys. I like my local gaming stores. I support them. I like Ryan and his stores, so we collab. Well, a GW store is a... Sorry, Games Workshop is... They used to be called Games Workshops. It's the same thing, yeah. They're all branded as Warhammer now, but it's basically Games Workshop, yeah. I think mine is still branded as a Games Workshop. I don't think they've actually had the Warhammer logo changed. Well, I went to bed. I went to bed and then I woke up. I use Citadel. I use Citadel, Vallejo, and Pro Acryl. Those three are, like, the most consistent I've found. It just depends on what you want to use. Army Painter is supposed to be really good. I just haven't really had a chance to try Army Painter in a while, but I think the biggest thing for me is that if I do one-off pieces, I'll try whatever paint brand, I don't mind, but if I'm doing, like, squad builds or anything like that, I'd rather have consistency that I know. Pro Acryl is amazing. The one thing I don't like about Pro Acryl is coal black. It is so matte. It looks... This is the only one I don't like subjectively. I guess when it comes to paint, it's all subjective. It doesn't matter what it is. But I was trying to mess around with, like, coal black, and I'm so used to the, like, Abaddon black being a little bit more, satin. This is really flat. Like, this is super matte. Super matte. But the Pro Acryl is amazing, and they stream on Twitch. The guys, Monument Hobbies, stream on Twitch. They're awesome. They're really cool. But their paints are great. Like, their white is the best thing ever. So it just depends on kind of what you want your paint for. Because, like, someone might want coal black. Someone might want that, like, matte finish. Other people might want, you know, more satin or glossy, whatever it may be. It depends on what you're painting and what you like. Art is so subjective that, like, every paint is very valid in their own way. Their white is amazing. It's like insanely white. Like, it's really, the ivory and the white from Pro Acryl are like super nice. Yeah, GW whites are like chalky trash. They suck. Celestra Gray usually is kind of what you work up from, at least that's what I was doing, but again, every paint's valid because every painter wants something different. Yeah, try the Pro Acryl stuff. They're really good. Or like, yeah, the ivory or the white. If you ever go into a gaming store and you're looking at like the Pro Acryl rack, you'll always see the black and the white gone. Like every gaming store I've gone into, they've always sold out of those colors. I didn't do it. No, I'm gonna stick to Nightmare. All right, where's the leg? The leg. All right. These guys are fucking huge, man. I feel like these guys are probably the size of like the old Cadians. I think the Cadian scale is still pretty good, but I don't have any Cadians on hand. The Votann are huge. Every dwarf in like most of GW's things have kind of been scale creeped like pretty high up there. Those are some big dudes. Okay, so that was Robo Feet. He's got the Robo Feet. 48, 49, 50. 48, 49. $48, 49, 50. Where's the damn sprue? $48. At 48, 49, 50. 50. My dream is to have a mountain diorama in my room as a decoration with inside holes and all. I hope you will achieve it one day. That'd be cool. You need shelves, brother. You need the Billy bookcases. Marmite pickled robo feet. That's even worse. That's a death sentence. You need a Billy bookcase, and you got to put the diorama inside the Billy bookcase shelf. That's what you need. Billy bookcases are like godsend, man. They're the best bookcase ever. Except I wish I went with, like, the mahogany instead of the black. The wood tones. Yeah, you could use foam. You can use 3D prints. You can use a variety of things depending on what you want to do. Terrain making is another beast. That's what the men do, man. We yell, hell yeah, when we see dwarven dioramas. I used to, when I was younger, you know, one thing the older I get, the more I feel like doing a train. You know, like the old railroad folk who enjoy scale modeling with like hillsides and scapes and trees and all that stuff, foliage. Imagine having one run around the ceiling of your room, but it's like dwarven themed. Like, that'd be kind of dope. Santa's workshop. That'd be very sick. I used to go to a bunch of train shows with my mom because I was really into Warhammer and, you know, all these mini things and whatnot. And I miss, there's like a deep-seated memory of me wanting to do like trains. All of its terrain. I think a lot of it being the terrain itself that you use. Like, when you do scale modeling, you use a lot of flocks and different grasses. Well, that's flock. Different foliages. Different, like plaster of Paris and all this shit for, like, rock formations. And it's a very hands-on, very green experience, I would say. And a lot of my youth was spent looking at, like, and doing, I would say, Lord of the Rings minis. And a lot of the Lord of the Rings stuff, even the fantasy stuff back in the day, there was a lot of foliage, like, everywhere. Foliage, foliage, foliage. And it's just so kind of, like, reminiscent of that. It looks very in tune with, like, railroad modeling. And it's pretty cool. And I'm still, to this day, searching for the old GW trees for the sake of, like, nostalgia, because I love those trees. But no one's selling them. At least in, like, a box, like, brand new. Okay, it was... Oh my god. Oh my god. It's expensive. Fuck. Someone actually has one on eBay. Oh my god, the nostalgia. Oh my god. The fucking nostalgia. Oh my god, it's $100. It's a bag of hedges and trees. These were the most iconic thing for me growing up. This was literally my childhood. In terms of, like, trees and greenery. It's so weird, man. I love those trees. That's so sick. And it's sealed. I wish I had an army of those, not gonna lie. I had these back in the day. I literally had these, and when I was a child, before I was even playing the games, I'd, like, set them up and fucking, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, but Rainsden, it's not the same. That's what you don't understand. It's not the same. It's literally nostalgia. You can't replicate nostalgia with fake stuff that isn't the same. Just saying. That's not how the brain works. Oh, those are so sick. Look at this. I know what to ask for Christmas. So sick. I think these were actually also repackaged elsewhere. These were, I don't think this was initially, because these are like the 2000s, like the Where's the... So this was done 2000, 2007. Yeah, I guess this would be it. I think they also had, like, boxes of them as well. A little bit before this, but these were... Oh my god, I love them so much. I love the smell of them. That's probably why I've got, like, some sort of underlying health condition. So cool. That is fucking nostalgia. Holy shit. I love those trees. That is pure nostalgia. They also had, like, the older, the jungle terrain, which was, like, all these hard plastics. They look like rooty swamp trees. I see a bunch of them on eBay, but those are lovely. Even the hills. If I could ever find a bag of these hills, you know what? This may literally just be it. Or maybe it was a different version. It's the one that are like foam cord. So much nostalgia. Holy shit. Strange, man. Anyways. We love nostalgia. It rots the brain. Makes us think of better times. Nostalgia. Dat, you might. Hello, sir. Coughing with a PNG of trees in the background. Dude, I love those trees. There are no better trees ever than those trees. They're the best. Yo, yo, yo. I need to finish up with this stuff. I gotta eat, I gotta take Mochi out, and I need to, do some variety. You'll probably get that, to be honest. I mean, who else hates the Chaos Dwarves more than the actual dwarves? You'll get that. There's no reason that wouldn't be an image. The golems are coming. They need to arrive in about 2 hours. You know, it's... I really don't like the Chaos Dwarves. I never will. Maybe, like, I try and collect and read as much as I can, even from things I don't care about as much. Like, I've got the old Chaos Dwarf supplement. I've got, like, the Hellsmith book. They're still dwarves. I still enjoy reading about them, but it's predominantly the aesthetic of them and kind of just what they are that I'm not really a fan of, but technically they're still dwarves. Technically. There's still Dowie. Just misunderstood Dowie, it seems. And them being led by an ancestor god is even crazier. Which is very dwarf, because everything the dwarves do, everything they've been through and kind of deal with is, like, from the heart, you know? It's kind of like either backstabbing or some sort of deep-seated hatred. Yeah, very, very heartfelt, so... Or at least they say it's an ancestor god. I mean, it probably is, though. A shut. You can post it in the Discord, dude. Well, they're not... I don't even know, brother. Evil dwarves doing evil things, but still being dwarves. Led astray by chaos, to then join chaos. How chaos. Although, for the sake of AOS, I don't think they're very tuned with chaos. Mistaken. Take a look. You should post it in stream sharing. For anything you want to show me, stream sharing is the best, but that's fine. What is this? The Virgin Demon versus the Chad Chaos.
You don't understand. I'm the servant of chaos. I'm the timeless demon from the realm of chaos. I'm not just some tool to be slotted into something. I'm manifested so I can possess someone. But please, no!
You know what's funny? Is there was one from this guy who was, like, also talking about, I think it was... I mean, basically, but they were talking about, God, what was it? Dwarves complaining or something versus, like, elves complaining. I forgot what it was, but it was just funny. I've seen that, yeah. You're good, bro. It's fine. It's okay to be there. In concept, cool, but they're just ugly. Chaos dwarves are just fucking ugly. They're so gross looking. Chaos dwarves are dwarves. Regular dwarves, sir. But I mean, Chaos dwarves, I'm glad they're around. That big divide ages ago, when they went off east into the Darklands and then kind of got cut off, yeah, that's good. Why am I fanning this channel so late? Good question. Very good question. That sounds pretty good. Potatoes are always great. I remember this one time, bit of a weird story. I was in elementary school, and I'm not going to say it, never mind. Don't smell eggs. That's all I got to say. Eggs can get really stinky. Don't subject yourself to stinky eggs in public places while everyone's eating. I don't know what they're called, but they're a little bit plain. The Chaos Dwarves in Age of Sigmar look a little bit too streamlined. They don't have that, like, gruff to them. A lot of Age of Sigmar stuff is very bold. It's, like, flat and bold. Even the Votann are kind of bold and flat a little bit with the design choices, but yeah. The glaives of old looked a little bit cooler. The blunderbusses and everything were a little bit more flavorful. But it's fine to have that divide. Age of Sigmar should never, like, inherently be a one-to-one of fantasy. It should be, like, an evolution of fantasy, and that's totally fine. I think that's the big problem with a lot of people when they saw the Hellsmiths. They're like, these look like shit, and they don't look like fantasy. And it's like, well, they're not really supposed to look like fantasy. And it's okay to have them look different. You know, it's a different game, different universe. Well, same universe, but, like, you know, far gone from peak aesthetic. But it's totally fine to have that. It's good to have that separation. You know, if everything was made in lieu of, like, what we had and everything looked exactly the same, it'd just be kind of boring, you know? Century eggs. I think I've heard of those, right? They're, like, super old and rotten. Maybe not rotten, but, like, they probably smell rotten. Yeah. Ew. They've got that ick. Usually duck eggs, and duck eggs already have a weird smell of them, so you can imagine century eggs. I don't think I've ever had a duck egg. Like, ever. I don't think I've ever eaten duck, period, but I will take your word for it that they're probably not my thing. Probably not the most edible, enjoyable thing out there. No, I've never had duck. Okay, let's not use that word. Let's not use that. 1 second timeout. I remember at a gas station, they had the best Chinese food I've ever had came from a gas station. And I remember in the window, they'd always have, like, ducks everywhere at a gas station. Like, well, not lively ducks, they'd be dead, but that's the closest I've gotten to ducks outside of a petting zoo. I miss that Chinese food. It was so good. Literally goated Chinese food. It's so lovely. Out of a gas station. It sounds like a gamble, but, like, it was a restaurant next to a gas station. So technically in the gas station, but, like, it was so good, man. No. It was top tier. Whatever you do, don't look into the kitchen, but, like, eat the food. Vader, hello, sir. We took pictures of Mochi recently. You want to see them? Well, technically, we only take pictures of Mochi. These were done recently. Like, I had one of them on stream a little while ago. It's an old one. I don't know what he was doing here. I took a picture of Mochi with Ungrim. This was a while ago. I was showing Ivana. I'm like, what's going on here? Here's a ghoulish picture of him. Here we go. Here's a ghoulish one of him in, like, a Polaroid. What the hell? What are you doing? These two are him with Ungrim. There he is. And then these were the most recent ones. Those are the most recent. I cannot take good pictures. These are taken by Ivana. Every other one is from me. These are the ones in the back are me. They're so shit. And then these are hers. Like, I can't take good photos. Yeah. Also, Ivana drew Mochi for fun. Here's a for fun Mochi picture. Yeah, hers are great. She knows better. Mine are just trash. Like, what is this? What is he doing? What is going on? Anyways. I sent her an image. I don't know. I can't share this on screen, but has anyone seen the image of, like, a guy who made the Glotkin? He made, like, it was repurposed, I think, for Age of Sigmar. But there was a fucking, like, Twitter image going around, or a Facebook image, where a guy made, like, it's basically a giant, you could say it's a giant Great Unclean One at this point, but he fucking green stuffed a pair of balls onto him That is the weirdest thing I've seen. I was like, Ivana, what's going on here? It's so like ghoulish looking. If you ever find it, you'll actually have a chuckle. I can't show it, but it's like, what is that? What is that? So bizarre. We're just showing pictures of Mochi. It's nothing. I gotta finish this because I gotta go. Well, yeah, you're not wrong. That's my bad. Sorry. My God. Okay, let's do this one. Oh, I already did this, right? Blasphemy. Right. I wonder when we're gonna get the Age of Sigmar dwarves. That'd be very, very fun. You know what? I wonder when we're gonna get the fucking Thunder Barge. Because that's probably gonna happen eventually. I don't know how it would, like, play in current Old World, because, like, they used to have rules for it. It had, like, an organ gun and all this other shit. But for the sake of centerpiece armies in fantasy, for something like that in a normal game, I don't know, man. It seems a bit crazy. Well, they're gonna be more like regular dwarves. You will probably get into Age of Sigmar because of that. They're going to be your typical dwarf, right? Your dispossessed Khazalid holds. That, for me, I think, was the reason I never really cared so much about, like, AOS beyond the cities of Sigmar. Like, I literally bought the Fireslayer range. I sold it. I bought the Caradron range. I sold it. I bought the Votann range. I sold it. I got my money back, thank God, and it went to people who I hope actually did something with them instead of me. But the classic dwarves are there. It's just, you know, you're going to have to wait a little bit. I think the older I've gotten, the more I've come to appreciate the differences, instead of being, again, just like a dwarf purist. Not everything has to be the same, and it shouldn't. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, Valaya, I mean, even Gazul. Gazul was brought up in the Hellsmith's army book. And that's kind of an interesting thing. Valaya being a big deal. I feel like with current Games Workshop and them trying to incorporate more women into things, which is fine. I'm not saying that's a weird thing. Like, there's no reason that in Age of Sigmar, you're going to most likely have a very prominent featuring of Valaya and her followers. Because in fantasy, you'd never see that. That's in the books. That's always like there in the background. Oh my god, the battle's over. The priestesses are kind of walking around tending to the wounded. It's never been a miniature thing. Like, you've had Queen Helgar from, like, is it Helgar or Helga? I can't remember. From the Grudge of Drong, who was the dwarf queen who ended up kind of, like, siding with the elves for a bit. You have Kema with, like, Belagar and his wife, but she's nowhere, right? So, yeah, like, dwarven women have always kind of been a weird enigma. You know, it's like we have them, but they're not on display constantly. They're not on the front lines. For Age of Sigmar, absolutely. Like, there's no reason you wouldn't have that, like, front and center. I mean, even with the Votann, right? There's a bunch of, like, women everywhere. So, it makes sense. I think it'd be good. Hellsmiths have them. Do the Fireslayers really... Oh, the Fireslayers do have them as well. It was a way to make the dwarves, I guess, a little bit more outward focused instead of always trying to, like, you know, covet what you have and keep your race kind of flowing, right? Because you can't throw mothers and daughters on the front line and be like, all right, we're not going to die out in the next 5 years. Yeah, exactly. Fireslayers have a lot of kids. Yeah. It's just, it's an extension of fantasy. It's not like your typical dying race of just once proud and numerous beings. Which is cool. Yeah, I still prefer the old fantasy stuff. That's just my favorite depiction of dwarves, but, like, there's no reason a setting can't have, you know, just a bunch of them kind of running around. We'll see what happens to the Fireslayer range, though, because that's supposedly being squatted out. The Fireslayers are supposedly being completely gutted. Which I don't mind. I'm not really a big Fireslayer guy, but, like, it sucks for the people who build armies and whatnot, but they're just kind of destined for the squat. We will see what comes of it. The new city stuff was really well done, though. Yeah. There's so many different types of dwarves in Age of Sigmar. 100%. Yeah. but like very distinct. Because a lot of the old fantasy stuff was kind of souped up into one. Like the Caradron were just the Engineers Guild. The Fire Slayers were the Slayer Cult. You know, everything was very... I mean, even the Ironweld, I'd say, is still Engineers Guild. Obviously, the Caradron are more out there and did more with that technology, but... Yeah, it's very... It's interesting seeing the different aspects kind of be separated into different armies. And you really have to love that aspect to probably want to do those armies, and I think that's where I was like, eh. It's like I like everything all at once, you know? Which is probably why they're all being souped together. It's like, oh, you've got your crazy Engineers Guild, and you've got your clan dwarves kind of banding together into shield walls, and then you've got your slayers coming from, like, the woods. I think they work better as a whole, but, you know, who's to say that you don't have, like, massive Caradron fleets and everything, and giant lodges of slayers kind of just running about looking for Urgold, like a bunch of crackheads. I do like the balance, though. I like when all of the aspects kind of come together to form more of like a well-rounded, supported army. Oh, is it really? What book was that in? I haven't read Age of Sigmar stuff since... some of the Caradron Codex, the latest one. I'm very out of the loop in Age of Sigmar stuff because I'm still even trying to just finish the Gotrek books. I haven't read Age of Sigmar in a while. But it'd be nice to get back into it when I decide to kind of actually do it again. Everything's usually centered around when I do something, it's like I'll look into more of it if it's not something I'm already in love with. Fire Slayer's Battle Tome. Which one? The latest one? I don't think I own it. I think I had, like, the first Fire Slayer's Tome. Maybe the second one. Third? Gotcha. I don't think I've seen Season 2 of Andor. Season 1 was amazing, but I don't think I saw Season 2. I thought about going back and getting the army books that I've been missing. Again, like, I should have picked up the Fire Slayer one, but, like, I'm not really gonna be playing Fire Slayers, but I'd still at least like to read. Did it for the Chaos Dwarves. I don't blame them. I mean, guess who destroyed most of the dwarf holds in End Times? Yeah, it is what it is. Who do you think dwarves hate more, greenskins or Skaven? If you had to put one before the other. They're both like generationally bad. Like just so horrible. I guess you could say elves too, but technically the elves... Okay. Technically the dwarves are in their situation because of the elves. Like... And then the greenskins came in, and then the Skaven came in. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, the old ones kind of, not the old ones, sorry, they're way gone. It was, the Slan, I forgot who it was, but shifting the mountains And then that kind of led the Greenskins in, right? Because they just started traveling away and finding new plunder. Finding new holes to kind of just dig into. Yeah. Yeah, that's a series of very unfortunate events. Well, night goblins. You know, it's interesting because, like, a lot of, you may not think of a goblin as anything in particular. You're like, oh, it's a lesser greenskin, it's worthless, it's trash. But then you've got, like, thousands of them mixed with, like, squigs and magic and all of these fucked up poisonous weapons. And it's like, yeah, that's probably the worst thing to deal with if you're about the same size as a goblin. Yeah, they're all coked out of their mind. What else are you coercing back there? The greenskins in fantasy are the peak in roster. I don't think there is a cooler roster than the greenskins. Like, I love dwarves, but in terms of variety, the greenskins of, like, fantasy have the craziest roster. Like, the most expansive fucking thing you'll ever see. There's so much variety in greenskins, it's so fun. You know, dwarves are just like dwarf in armor, dwarf in less armor, dwarf with bow, dwarf with crossbow, and that's amazing and that's awesome. But, like, the greenskins are, like, actual different races kind of coming together. Trolls, giants, squigs, orcs, goblins, snotlings, the ghoulies. Like, you can literally just make so many different things with the greenskins. Wolves, pigs. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Well, the chaos dwarves are cruel, bro. And if you're breeding like the black orcs and making them, I mean, they're very much in control. Although some of them do escape. Greenskins are cool, yeah. The hobgoblins. Cool to see the hobgoblins kind of come back. I remember those in metal. How many hobgoblin units are there right now in AOS? Like 2? 3? Don't you have, like, hobgoblin riders? Those might be goblins, I'm not sure. The hog gobblers. Dude, greenskins are scary. A relentless horde of freaks who fight because it's fun. Imagine dealing with something like that, and they're, like, genetically gifted, and you're not. Well, okay, if you're Chaos, different story. But if you're just, like, a dude, and you're trying to fight orcs, like, that's kind of a big deal. Being genetically just infinitely better than anything you've got to offer as a race is just kind of crazy. Like, they may be more stupid, but they've got the muscle to kind of make up for it. And the absolute tenacity. Just do it, make your... Yeah, pretty much. Basically. Cruel Boys also smashed Chaos Tower, or they made peace. Cruel Boys are a pretty interesting addition. I don't think I like them. I think they're a very interesting take on orcs. They kind of remind me more of, like, I don't know why, but Tolkien orcs, almost. Where they're all of these, like, twisted, gangly, nasty creatures. You know, you've got your, like, Iron Jaws and your orcs in, like, fantasy and 40k that are very Warhammer, but then, like, the Cruel Boys, it's a pretty interesting take. Instead of big, muscular, you know, brutes with, like, gobs, they're just more of, like, these gaunt, sadistic, like, swamp-stalking orcs. It's a pretty interesting thing. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the whole thing. It's like Gork and Mork, cunning but brutal, or brutal but cunning. They do embody that, for sure. It's a different take, though, for sure, on orcs. I think it's good. You know, not every orc needs to be muscular and kind of run headlong into battle. That is my preferred orc. That's, like, the most orky thing you could do, but it's cool to have different kind of versions of that, right? Especially in Age of Sigmar, where Age of Sigmar is just a blank slate for, like, remaking fantasy classics. Uh, That's exactly it, though, right? They're not very orky. They're orcs in a different light. They're not your traditional orc. It's a mix of, like, a goblinoid orc. Orc Spec Society. Chaos Society. Poop Effigy Society. The Poop Effigies. Gordrak invaded the 8 points and took down Archaon statue and just fucked off. The best someone else. Wasn't Gordrak? That was, you're talking about the first, it was like the first big named orc character, right? The Ironjaws dude on like the Wyvern. The alternate build. Is that guy still kicking around? Because he was like first edition, no? Was he not? He was like very old in Age of Sigmar. They've been first or second edition. All right, I do need to go in a sec. And then I should be on later. For Azir, Zed will do it again because it's not even Arcane can open it. Well, who knows what's going to happen with the rumors, right? Azir's probably going to go down. This whole, like, last world shit, I kind of believe it. I kind of believe it. 66, 67, 68. Yes, we will. 66, 67, 68. One sec. 66, 67, 68. What is the last body? Sec. Trying to look for like a weird... "67 sleeper agents. They're everywhere. They're all over. Not counting Senna. Well, that is good news, because that character is boring as hell. I hope it's Bilgewater. I hope it's Jack the Winner. I might play the game. That'd be cool. Imagine Jack the Winner showing up. Oh, mama. Jack the Winner. All right, speaking of winning, I get to go eat. I'm winning. Folks, I will be on later, so take care of yourselves. I will see you later today. Everyone, be well, and thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching. I will see you all another time, and with that being said, goodbye, and enjoy your weekend. Peace, peace, folks.